Right, I'll start again. This is us from WeAreChangeGlasgow. We've got Chris here, and we've also got
Sarj.
Sarj?
Yes, Sarj.
We're basically here just talking about what's happening in Glasgow just now, and the news in general, and what we believe that's going on just now. And we're just going to have a discussion. So you were just saying about basically what the government does?
Yes, like I said, the UK government and the American call other people like Al-Qaeda terrorists.
Yeah.
But from my point of view, they're all terrorists, right? Because each fight for what he believes. And like America invades Iraq for something everybody knows, the oil. That is an act of the terrorist as well, because right now some kids down there are suffering because of George Bush and all these people for what they are doing, right? Okay, it's like you and me, you want something from me, yeah?
We exchange it, we have a trade.
Exactly. So the world won't suffer if we all try to be human beings.
Human being is the thing that's been hidden from us. We're made to work all the time to stop being human to each other. I mean, that's why people are walking by us. We're in Glasgow, and people walk by in a shopper's mentality because they don't want to be educated. I've heard people saying they don't read books anymore, and that's where all our spiritual comes from. That's how you learn where you're from and where you're going, and how you can benefit your life by knowing knowledge. Knowledge is power, and that's what's been withheld from us. And we're played off each other throughout history, and they create all the terrorism, they create the collapses, and they benefit from it. The people have never benefited from anything. That's a fact.
The thing that really pisses me off the whole thing is it's a thing like, you take things into consideration about the media, right? Now, I don't know how much truth is in this, but the Sun newspaper supposedly had an advert years ago saying about we're all going to get injected with swine flu, and the Sun article only goes back, like the archives only go back to a certain date, so you can't even check that out. Do you know what I mean? So what's going on here is like a kind of script that's in place and they just follow by it, and as everything unfolds, all the stuff that happened with that guy in America, about all the stuff that's happening in Ukraine, he got attacked, and he was actually an undercover agent for the Ukraine.
The Ukraine never mentioned, you never heard anything about this in our media, but 1.5 million people within 2 weeks got the new, there was a new bubonic plague, they almost called it. I mean, 1.5 million people got it in 2 weeks. We are complaining about a few hundred people catching it over a week or a month.
It's fear-mongering, man. It's like everything you watch on television, the newspapers, it's all designed to keep you in this little bubble, and then you have to be deemed as insane to be sane, because when you talk to somebody in the public about this, they just think to themselves, are you crazy? It's like, no, you're the crazy one, you're the ones that are watching your television. The word government means mind control, that. So,
exactly.
Well, I mean, two together. You know what I mean?
Parliament is like, if you break down certain words within like the kind of language, it's a parliament to speak lots of lies. I mean, how obvious do you want it to get? And fun enough, I read something funny the other day and it said God. Someone told him, like, I had an abbreviation for it, and it's true because you hear people say I did it because God told me. Tony Blair said I did it for God. Bush says God, and God stands for gold, oil and drugs. It's the three things that make this country run, and it's the three things we're always after. We control the drugs, we control the oil, or we invade and take the oil, one way or another, and we gold. Look, we're buying it up at record prices. Why? What business sense would it make to buy it at such a high price if you weren't trying to take away the wealth of the people?
There was things about that also, like, there's not really been a lot said as far as I'm aware, but I remember there was a big thing about the Amero. Like,
the Amero in 2006.
That was on the radio here, and it's like, we're in the UK, what's that got to do with us? But everybody else knows about it, you know? And then there's some people like, what are you talking about?
We've made pacts. Germany went over a few years ago, the Prime Minister met Bush, and they signed agreements to the transatlantic agreement. So we're basically merging our economies, our banks, and you'll see there's a lot of corporatisation going on. People are buying bits of America. You see the Rothschilds Bank, they actually advised the government to sell Dover to a French council in Calais. Did you see that? Dover's port gets sold to France. Bits of Britain are being sold off because it is a company. I mean, that's how its credit rating can go up and down.
See, another thing as well, you read things in the newspapers about how all these, despite the recession, that all these companies are still making profit. And one in particular is Apple, right? Now, Apple are still making profits, but they're not. They're getting rid of staff. That's what they're doing, and they're still making profit. Making hunky-dory, but it's not. People are still losing jobs, people are still sponging off the government, and the money's just digits to computer, and it's getting pumped out, and then that's it.
And they're borrowing money to pay off debt they borrowed. I mean, how can you how can you repay debt with higher interest? We're the ones that foot the bill.
Religion and politics causes problems, it doesn't solve problems. Yeah. And that's the system we're in now, and unfortunately there's a lot of people suffering from it.
That's why we all have to learn about the true spirituality, not religion. Because from my point of view, I think it's like you just said, money, religion, and politics. It's true, there's nothing wrong about all this, but we all have to be wise and learn more about spirituality. Because when we talk about God, my God, I know, never told me to fight or kill somebody else because I want something from him. No.
Thou shalt not kill.
Yeah,
it's pretty simple, huh?
And I mean, perfect example, right? Palestine. Look at Palestine. Palestine's the biggest open-air prison in the world. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And what happened when Hitler was in the Holocaust with the Jews? I mean, America and Britain stepped in.
IBM was founded by eugenicists. It was the first computer was made for punch cards to put their data in. And we're still trying to fight it today. We're fighting with the no to ID to stop this. They're now saying body scanners must be put in place everywhere, so that they can actually take a body scan or image and actually use that as ID, because they can't get everyone's thumbprints, they can't get in the blood, and they can actually use computer software to take your image and your facial features and create a biometric data.
Biometric profiling.
Yeah, a new profile for you, and that's the new slave system, which will turn into a digital economic age with carbon credits. And it's just downhill this year where we're going to collapse. I listen to Bob Chapman and I look at all the stuff that's going on. I looked at Bloomberg last night. They're falling apart. All these countries are just in the net.
Greece went bankrupt the other day.
Yeah, I know. It's got only enough money to survive till March. I mean, you're just living in borrowed time, I mean, that is it. And then the EU superstate kicks in with the Lisbon Treaty. And then we've got an EU president, Van Rompuy, who's a Bilderberg member.
I think martial law is not too far away, to be perfectly honest.
I've spoken to guys at conferences about that.
Yeah, it's something, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, but I don't know, man. Just
Financial collapse, crash the dollar out of existence, make sure there's no food. When there's no food, people start rioting on the streets, martial law is declared, internet goes down, internet 2 comes up, police state, there you go, done. Bought and paid for.
Yeah. It's been a good conversation. So
really, man. We need to go back to college as well.
Cool.
Well,
thanks for stopping by, guys.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Have a good day.
Right. Stop.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the red button. That's still going on. 7 minutes and 40 seconds.